Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another exciting episode of Meet the. I'm Troy Rawlings, and this is where I get a chance to interview people that I think are the most fabulous, most beautifulest people in the world. That's not a word. All right, and today I have this young lady. You hail from Los Angeles. Are you from Los Angeles originally?
Absolutely, yes. Born and
From
raised.
doing her thing in Los Angeles. You may have heard of EUNIQUE, you may not have, but you will hear a lot more about it. Hairstylist and entrepreneur, Miss Ebony Williams. How are you, Eb?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. And you talking about two people. See, if you know anything about me, I used to be in the hair industry. So y'all that know me know that I'm a master barber by trade. Used to own my own shop in Baltimore, Maryland. So yes, that accent you hear sometimes is Baltimore. So me and Ev getting ready for this with a person who is the style. We like, yeah. She's like, you're a little orangish caramel. You're not really. You're light. I'm like, my light ain't right. My lips. How my lips look?
Yeah, you look like a milk dud.
Is that a good milk dud?
I like
I'm
milk
trying to
dud.
have a. I'm getting up there. So.
It's nice though. You good.
So Ebony, let's go back. I'm a Tarantino a little bit, so I'm a dance a little bit, but let's go all the way back. You're originally from Los Angeles?
Yes, yes. Born and raised.
So born and raised in Los Angeles. Like most little girls who get the dolls and they start playing with the hair. And how did you get into hair itself? When did you know that you liked to do hair, or you had a knack for doing hair?
Well, I wasn't big on Barbie dolls and playing in dolls' hair. Actually, my mom was a hairstylist, so I kind of grew up being a guinea pig. So we had I was like in third grade wearing cellophanes, bright red hair, long nails, and people at like in high school and junior high schools would like see me and be like, "Oh my God, look at this little girl with red hair or blue nails," and like my mom wouldn't dare and what grade you in and stuff like that. So I always loved like color, stuff like that, like bright colors. I had jerry curls, basket weaves,
Oh,
relaxers. Like I'm so serious, like at a young age. So I think that's kind of like when I really first got introduced to the hair industry. It was through
so
my
you
mom.
so your mom would keep you fresh all the time you go there. You coming into school like it's a Bronner Brothers
With all these
father,
grown folk hairstyles.
all the grown folks. You coming there with a tilt one day. I'm like, what is?
Yeah, we were the guinea pigs. She had three daughters at the time, so she would just practice on us, do everything on us first, and all
So your
that.
pictures were your school pictures were every school, every club, y'all.
Yeah, I had a little, I had my hair done on most of the pictures. So
So your mom introduced you to it. You said so your first influence. I always like to ask people their influences who inspired them. And I know for me it was a big deal when I would watch TV and I would see like having a fresh haircut when I was coming up was everything. Once you knew it, once fades came in and stuff like that. So a lot of times we would see the TV shows and you see a little African American, little black kid on the show. And it's like, who is cutting his hair? But I didn't realize about Hollywood and the industry that they didn't have a lot of at one point in time, the early 80s and stuff like that, they didn't have like a lot of black barbers and stylists doing each other's hair. They just had people with scissors cutting little, okay, long as it's straight, So your first influence was in your house, your mom. What did you see? Did you get to see a lot of interaction between your mom and her clientele? How was that relationship?
you know what? I was so young. I really don't remember. I really didn't pay attention to much of the details with the interaction. I just know she used to have a lot of money.
Oh,
I just know we had like jewelry and the bike sweep on it, and stuff like that. So I didn't really pay attention to the interaction. I just know they come get their hair done. She did work, at a salon, but she did hair out her house as well. She did both. So, our family members would come over, or close friends and stuff like that. So she would do, some clients, but I was so young, I wouldn't just necessarily stand there and watch. I'd be outside playing, but I know she couldn't get that money.
So when did you actually start doing hair? When did you start with like some friends and you started working on stuff? When did you actually start finding that, okay, I can do this?
Well, I started as a braider. That's how I started off at a very young age. And I think the first person hair I braided was my grandmother. And those braids were like horrible. But, she said.
She just let you do it. She's like, that's my baby.
And I had to be about 13. So I just continued to practice and braid, basically like doing individuals and stuff like that. This back then when the dookie braids was popping. We used to call them dookie braids, not poetic justice braids and box braids and all that. But so that was back then. And I just kept practicing and about a year later, by the time I was 14, I had that thing down pat. And so I started like braiding my own hair. And I would just always like get in the mirror and braid my own head, like a full head, braided up. And one day I was in a grocery store and a lady came up to me and she was like, who does your hair? And I was like, I braid my own hair. She was just like, oh my God, like you braid so good. How old are you? And I think I was like 15 at the time. And she was like, you want to work in a shop? And I was like, heck yeah, like work in a shop. Like that's kind of.
Plus there were no rules for braiders. There were no rules. You didn't have to be a certain age to braid.
No, but you didn't have to be a certain age, but I probably should have been somewhere in school, not at the braid.
She was trying to get you in there on Wednesday. Can you come in Wednesday from 9?
Friday braid. So yeah. So anyway, that's another story for another day. But definitely, I was like, yeah, sure, I want to braid this. And so she was the manager at the time, but she loved my braids. She was like, she's gonna talk to her boss, the owner, and she talked to the owner. I talked to my mom. We set that thing up, and yeah, sure enough, I was in the shop at 15 years old, working at Braid Your Way.
What? Hold on. Getting paid. Because let me explain something to you. I don't remember when braids were cheap, ever, especially in the shop. Braids is braids. It's like, right. So at the time, because one of the big things for me and Barbara, shout out to Marvin Lee, who the master barber I apprenticed under, because I learned technique and good haircutting technique, but Marvin was fast. So Marvin would get on this. If I'm taking 35, 45 minutes on a cut, they start singing songs. You already did that. You already did that. I'm like, and Marvin, in the time it take me to do one, he could do 4 heads. So braiding, I didn't see braiders who, it take a while to do quality braids until we had a couple of sisters in the shop and they were from Senegal. And they were the fastest braiders I ever saw. So in the midst of braiding, you're 15. That's a different kind of patience for those, because I know we have some people who kids may be doing hair and stuff like that, but in natural hair care now is the thing. Braids are back in style like never before, because my daughter's wearing braids every time she get her hair done. How long did it take you to do an average set of braids? If it not just do anything, because that's a lot of patience for a young girl to be able to sit there and braid hair in the shop.
It just would depends on what type of braids. The individuals did take a really, really long time. I can't really recall exactly how long, but I know it was lengthy. It was maybe I want to say.
I remember locking a braider in my.
It just depends. But the manager, she was extremely fast. She was really, really fast. She was a fast braider. But she told me what would help me braid faster is to release some of the tension in the braids. Like I braided so tight like a machine. She's like, oh my God, it's so neat and beautiful, but it looks like a machine. But she was like, loosen up that tension and you can move your hands a lot faster. And it relaxes the braid. The braid is a lot looser and more flexible. So that did help me braid a lot faster. But it took a long time.
Y'all taking notes? If you see me going like this, I'm taking notes for people. Y'all taking notes about this? Some little girls watching right now was like, oh.
Yeah. Hmm.
So okay, 16, 15, 16. So by the time you're 18, let's jump a little bit. You're still in the shop, I take it.
No,
Because
I was not. By the time I was 18, I wasn't in the shop no more. I was just doing like house calls, or people was coming to my house. I was no longer
but
in
you
the
were still
shop. I
doing
was
hair.
in and around. I moved to another city that was a few hours away from Los Angeles, so I would take a train back to. I actually moved to Lancaster
Mm,
Pine. So that's
right.
about what, an hour and a half, 2 hours. But I didn't have a car, so I would take the train and
It
come
takes
back
2
out
hours,
here
right?
to make my money to pay rent and stuff like that.
So you're doing the braiding, it's your thing. And now I'm gonna jump around a bit. Do you still have that love that you had then for it? Was it a love or it was just this is my career?
For braids,
For
um,
just hair in general.
what,
Because at the time, now as you're getting older, are you doing anything else? Are you just doing still natural hair care or
yeah, I'm just doing braids, strictly only braids. Like
okay.
that's all I did. That's all I know. I wasn't doing no real hair care or nothing like that at that time. I didn't start doing that till probably in my late 20s. Yeah.
So you so what was it that all right, you knew braids, but sometimes people braid, but they may be able to do a perm or they may be doing this. Why what made you stick with natural hair care?
Well, actually, I was a part of a hair team, and the hair team, they only focus on natural hair. They only focus on real hair, cuts, colors, relaxers, anything pertaining to your real hair though. So they didn't focus on the wigs and the weaves and stuff like that.
Mm,
So that was like right up my alley. I like what I saw. I loved how everything was about, you know, enhancing your real hair,
right.
or just focusing on the natural hair. And it was like, okay, I like this. So I kind of stuck with it even once I ventured off. It was kind of like rooted and implanted in me by then. So, and that was a big thing for me too. I felt like a lot of women allowed wigs and weaves to, like determine their beauty or how good they looked, or they didn't feel, beautiful or attractive unless they had a long weave, or even back then the wigs wasn't even big yet. It was just mainly like long weaves or just weaves in general.
Right,
And
right.
so I wanted to let women know that you could still look good and feel good, without wigs and weaves, with just your natural hair. So
Is that something now this is I was gonna mention this before because we kind of when we were chatting before we mentioned it. What have you seen a change in the industry from because yeah, weaves and tech, I mean the hair industry is ridiculous, especially when it comes to adding hair and different types of hair and how much money they make off hair. But have you seen a transition as the natural hair care? Because it seems like there was a boom of natural hair care, locks, twists, braids, and it seems like then the weave came back in strong. Now it seems like it's another natural hair care piece, shorter haircuts, slice hair. Are you seeing a transition over the past decade? Let's say, how much of a transition have you seen? Have you seen an uptick in more people wanting their natural hair care versus other other things in the industry?
I definitely seen an upkick with the natural hair, but to be honest, at one point I think it was like a big movement. Like everybody was into just natural hair, curly hair, no heat, no relaxers, and all this type of stuff. And it was like a big thing. But I feel like it's like slowly declining now because everybody is just like at one point I was getting a lot of clients who was just like, I'm over it. Like it's a lot of work. Like our hair is a lot of work. It's a lot of maintenance. It's a lot of manipulating and the products, juices, berries. It's work. So
Right.
especially if you have like thick hair, coarse hair, really, really curly, so I think people were just like kind of like over the curly hair thing because they see a lot of these videos on YouTube and they're watching and trying to mimic other people who don't even have hair like them. Like they don't have the same texture and the same curl pattern, so you're not going to get the same results. So, you know, they
They're trying to put the conditioner in and comb it through. Girl, it take me 1 hour.
Or they're like, oh, I just did this wet and go style, and you know, my hair swelled up and poofed right up, you know, 5 minutes after, you know, walking out the door and stuff like that. But just different things like that. So I felt like it was in for a minute, and then it kind of started, you know, going back out because a lot of people was getting like really tired of trying to maintain their hair and they didn't really know what to do, and it was a struggle, and they thought they were going natural to have healthy hair, but in reality a lot of people hair were still damaged just as bad as it was when they were putting heat on it, if not worse. And I saw that with my own eyes, like
because they weren't doing anything with break. If you don't go to a
they
stylist,
didn't know how to take care of it. They didn't know how to
got breakage, and you just putting
yeah,
stuff
it
in
had
your
a
head.
lot of breakage. It was extremely dry. A lot of split ends. It was a lot going on. So, yeah, a lot of people with natural hair ended up being worse than people with hair that they call heat damage and stuff like that. From what I saw, with a lot of women coming in the salon.
So, do you think it was? I mean, we have different times in our history where you had women working, but they were still maintained, and they would. I noticed overall, women are the largest group of entrepreneurs, especially Black women, right now. But also, um, people are working more hours than ever before. Like the 40-hour work week is damn near part time. Like you got people putting in 80 hours, 100 hours. Like you, well, I remember having to start opening. Our day off would be Mondays because Friday, Saturday was so big. We debating whether or not to be open on Saturday, Sunday because the weekends but now it seems like people were working around the clock. Like, have you seen? Do you think that's a part of why people are saying, "Look, I can't be in here every week trying to get a natural hair care. I just need something that I can, if I don't have to deal with this for a month." But with braids, that's about 3 to 4 weeks. Sometimes more. That people can go with braids for about a month. Sometimes.
Yeah, that's a part of it as well, the convenience of it. That's why a lot of people transition into wigs and weaves, because it is convenient. You can flat iron the front every day and make it look sleek and straight and beautiful without damaging your real hair. So I do get it. Like that was part of the reason why a lot of people, didn't really necessarily want to go off into natural hair and wear their real hair or wear their hair out. But the wigs and the weaves was very convenient, and you can wear and style your hair however you want and have just a corporate look, versus wearing your curly afro and stuff like that.
Come in there like, whoa, hey Angie, what? Oh, we have a meeting today.
So I get it. That was a big thing for a lot of people, and still to this day, it's very convenient. That's like the number one thing, and just to be able to have your hair down your back. I feel like most African American or Black women, our hair don't grow as fast and as long as other races. So so that's the way they can feel like, hey, I got hair down my back as well, or I look good or exotic or whatever it is that they're trying to achieve. But that's a way to do it, and feel, really sexy and stuff with their long hair, like other people. But I think that was like part of the reason as well. They didn't feel attractive.
You talked about manageability and how people were, even though they were seeing the girls do the tutorials in the shower and wetting their hair and do all the stuff and trying to comb it out. And you coming up with your own hair care line, is it because of what you saw people dealing with as far as scalp that wasn't moisturized, dry hair, breakage? Did you formulate your hair care because of seeing people not being able to maintain it at home properly?
That's one of the reasons, but the main reason was I was getting a lot of women who were having issues with their scalp. And believe it or not, I was turning them away. I would decline the service off the bat. Like, And I could tell I hurt a lot of people's feelings and disappointed a lot of people because,
You got heavy dandruff, dry scalp, things
yeah,
like
they have
that.
a lot of, you could tell when a person just like have, like minor dry scalp or autoimmune disease versus a person who just fully neglects their hair or their scalp and don't shampoo it, don't comb their hair. It'll have like a really strong odor and just a lot
Is
of
that
build.
from them just putting stuff on top, wigs or weave? Is that from that too?
They'll leave them wigs in sometime weaves in 3-4 months without shampooing their hair. And you got to think. So you got big braids, you got a cap, you got all his hair. So that's a really dark place. So if you're sweating, it's damp, that's going to create mold, bacteria, stuff like that. So that stuff shows up on the scalp. So you can actually see, who's really taking care of their hair or their scalp, or at least
All
trying.
that stuff growing, mushrooms and stuff growing out. You're like, come
A lot
on,
of
I can't.
Right. A lot of people can't see what's going on in their scalp. So that's why it's important to go have a hairstylist and go to a hairstylist, so someone can check your scalp and see exactly what's going on, because you can't really see back there what's going on. But again, you can tell who's, trying to shampoo their hair and actually take care of their hair versus people who just avoiding their hair and scalp and just, not trying to take care of their hair at all. And so I was turning away a lot of women because if it's full of flakes and it looks like oatmeal on your scalp, I'm not about to be bothered with that. Like you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like you're neglecting your hair, and now I have to
Plus,
take
it turns into something else. It turns into
right,
a
and I don't know what it is, and I'm inhaling those particles and those smells and scents, and it's embedded in the grooves and the tips of my fingernails.
This is
Whatever's going on.
pre-mask. This is pre-pandemic, and you ain't got no gloves. You looking for rubber
Right,
gloves.
right.
You looking for a mat.
Pandemic, and believe it or not, I don't care how many times wash your hands. It's no way possible to get 100% of those particles from under your nails and out the groove of your fingertips. So again, I don't know what's going on with your head and
Mm,
your scalp, and most of the time I felt like it was like pure neglect.
right.
But off the back, I would just, refuse the services like I can't. And but over time I start feeling bad, like I want to help those people, especially the people who have like, scalp issues and don't know how to really get it under control, or like an autoimmune disease or psoriasis or something like that.
Right.
So I wanted to, help those people, even the ones who were neglecting their hair. Maybe they didn't realize it, or maybe they just didn't know what to do, and then the situation kind of got out of control. But so I took a hair class, and it was a hair class for scalp issues and stuff like that. And that's kind
Yeah.
of like where I got started, because I wanted to get a little more understanding, like to dive deeper into it. Like we go over stuff like that in cosmetology school, but you don't really just deep dive into it like that. So I took a hair class, and then after that I got a little more understanding. And then I wanted to like help those women with those issues.
Yes. So let me tell y'all something. Y'all need to share this. I know y'all see it on different places on social media. Y'all need to share it, put it out, because it's a woman. And also, now cut till now. How do you suggest that sister who has I spent $1,200, $800, $1,500 to get my hair done so that it would last. I didn't realize how much damage it was doing to my hair from my scalp not to breathe. But she wants to come to somebody, but they get embarrassed, so they just cover it up again. How do you suggest them come to someone like you and have a conversation? Because first, I mean, we're used to doing consultation on the spot because we want to do your hair. You have an appointment. Consultation, okay, this is what we're gonna do, blah, blah, blah. You get that person in. I take it you suggest if they've had something in their hair for 3 months and haven't really been shampooing it or doing something, they should call you first.
Yeah, they should call me first, or whoever they trust, a trusted hairstylist. But the first thing they need to do is be honest. A lot of women are lying. They lying. They'll sit right in the chair and I'll say, or, when was the last
I just had it done last week.
that
Like,
I know last week, when I do this for a living, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just tell me anything. I know you haven't shampooed your hair in at least a month. It's going to tell when I rinse it how dirty it is, or the things that's caked up on your scalp and stuff like that. Like, you know what's clean, just like your hands. You know when your hands is dirty.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you can feel the dirt, you can see the dirt, you can just, you know what something with clean skin or scalp looks like and clean hair. But first, just start off by being honest and you know, let the person know what's going on and address your concerns with your hair and the results you would like to achieve. Or, you know, I always tell women when they sit in my chair, I'm like, okay, what are your hair goals? You know, so definitely be honest about your past, you know, hair experiences or what you've been doing or haven't been doing correctly with your hair. Be honest. And, you know, then just basically express, you know, what would you would like to, the style or length or hair desire you would like to achieve with your hair, basically. And then
That's
you
a
got
good
to
one.
figure it out from there and come up with a solution or a common ground or something like that to achieve those results if they're achievable.
No, that's good. I never even thought about, well, in the barbershop it's easy because the guy come in like, oh man, like, man, I just want to look, you know, and we create and do different things. But it's funny because you see these videos, these barbers painting on people's hair and doing all this stuff. And a lot of people, because of the world of social, that's another thing. Has social media made it easier or harder to sit down and do someone's hair because they see this stuff and they think it's all achievable?
I just think social media made it hard for everything in life, like everything and everybody, because I just feel like maybe 75% of everything you see on social media is not real or not
Right.
what you really think it is. Like you said, even from the person doing the tutorials and it took 2-3 hours, they didn't chopped it down to 20 minutes and it's like
Right.
stuff like that. Or
I'm
people
telling you, it's so easy. No.
something that they not, or that their life is this way and stuff like that. So I just think social media makes it hard for everybody in every field.
Right. You're right. So I really like that you said that. I remember when I had locks. Don't talk about me, yo. I remember when I had locks. I had locks in one way. I had hair. Go back and look at the '90s photo. I had the Flex Alexander, the high top with the dread. Anyway,
Right, 30 years ago. It's okay.
Exactly 30 years ago. Yes, I was 18. But I had locks at one point in time, and I remember watching one of the sisters who was golden at training a lot of the people who did locks. And I remember the process she did, even when people were doing Nubian locks, and these folks were keeping their joints smelling good, looking good, stuff like that. I remember the process she did of shampooing the hair and what she was using to clean and freaking scrub the scalp of these people with locks. Now, a lot of women too, but the guys, you know, they in there and they using peppermint, they using all kind. They letting it sit for an hour.
Yeah.
So
Sea breeze, apple cider vinegar. Oh, I remember
sea
those.
breeze, right? Because all this natural cutting through, and then they trying to moisturize the scalp, and then they do all the stuff, and then they put you under the dryer that was at least 150 degrees, and oozing down. It's like, Troy, stop being a punk. My whole joint is red and I'm
on fire.
on fire. All that stuff is melting into the scalp. But I remember how long, like the longest part of the process was the shampoo and the condition, because they had to get all the stuff they had just put in, and the person, if they don't do, it was a lot. So to think about someone just covering their hair up, you gave a lot of key information. We're gonna really spread this out. Covering their hair up for a month, not letting it breathe, patting it. If you're doing this all day, beating yourself down, you need to go at least get a. But do you do consulting? Do you do, like, when you do a consultant, something like this, you talk to somebody, because some people are scared to go in the shop. They definitely might not come into a shop that's a more affluent shop. You're in an affluent place, you're in Beverly Hills, but you could probably do a consult with somebody where they were like, all right, let me show you. And they take out, you're like, woo, okay. So this is what we need to do first. You can come in, but you can da. Would you, because that's something I'm sure that you could charge for a consultation to help a lot of women.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something you're available to do for some people
Yeah.
that may not know?
Yes,
'Cause that's
I do consultations, and also if you book an appointment with me, your first, well, each and every visit, I start off by analyzing the scalp. I do a scalp analysis and I go through, and is a lot of women who sit in my chair tell me like it's very rare that they ever run into a stylist who actually assess their scalp before they start the service. Like I
yeah.
hear that all the time. But definitely I always assess the scalp first, just to see if what's going on with the hair, what's going on with the scalp, see if any cuts or sores in their head, lice and stuff like that. So that's the first thing I do anyway, assess the scalp. But I do offer scalp consultations, just for different various things, for styles, just assess the scalp, the hair, different, recommendations and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, because for the brothers watching this and the men, if y'all don't know why women are if you ever walk in the salon looking for somebody, you doing DoorDash, dropping off some food, some keys. If you wonder why the shops stop when you walk in, and the sisters pull their hats down, and it is it's a very private experience, a very intimate experience with a stylist and their client. So that's the key thing. You were in Inglewood when we met. When you were in Inglewood, you're in Beverly Hills now.
Yes.
So how how do you like it so far? Because you're new to Beverly Hills. So anybody that's looking for it, and we'll make sure you have all the information before we get out of here. You're in Beverly Hills, more affluent area. How do you like it?
I like it. I like it. It's different, It's more of a professional feel. Um, the
But it's been
environment.
a while since you've been in a corporate, like you're in a shop with other stylists. Like you had your own. This is a bigger place with other stylists.
Yeah,
That's
it's a new experience. I was in my own suite for the last 4 years. And I started kind of feeling isolated. I kind of started experiencing burnout, stuff like that, just doing the same thing over and over. Um,
that
not
energy does help having other people around you.
Yeah, to
That
bounce
helps
ideas
so much.
off of, and just share information or just get inspiration and stuff like that. So I thought this would be great to, just putting something new back in my life, a little spark or something, to be
Yeah.
back in the salon with other stylists and just learning new techniques and new things, and just in a whole nother area. So I think it was a great way to kind of like spice things up for me.
All right, so we've been talking. We're gonna wrap this up in a bit, but I want to talk about your product line. We've talked about why you do the products, but we haven't talked about your product line itself. Talk a little bit about your products.
Yes, I have some wonderful, wonderful products to help women with some of those issues we were talking about. This is my shampoo. I have a shampoo. It's aloe vera based, shea butter, chamomile, castor oil. It has some good stuff in here to help with those scalp issues. If you have like a tender, sore scalp, or it's inflamed, or you have really, really extremely dry hair, this shampoo will help you with all those hair issues.
That sounds good for that sounds
Um,
good for me.
it's good for any and everybody, all different hair types, different ages. It's safe for little kids. It's all natural. Also, I have a conditioner as well. The conditioner, it is aloe vera based, shea moisture, and
All of this is under Unique Strands too. It's under Unique Strands brand.
yes, it's under the Unique Strands brand. So it's basically just the follow up from the shampoo. It's the conditioner, but it's a really light conditioner, so it's not really heavy. It don't weigh the hair down. It don't have I don't know if you guys can see, but it don't leave like a residue, um, on the scalp or the hair and stuff like that. So it's really light. It conditions the hair, make it soft, it hydrates it. It's really well. And again, if you have like a sore, tender scalp or a flaky scalp, things like that. The chamomile in here is wonderful for the inflammation, or if you have braids and your scalp is really sensitive and sore, locks, anything like that. You have weaves, it was tight. You can shampoo and condition your hair with my products, it will definitely help. And then also I have my hair oil. And the hair oil, it's infused with chamomile, lavender. It has the actual herbs in the oil. I'm not sure if you can see.
Hold it up for the folks.
On, shake it for them.
It look like something you can put on some salad.
Yeah,
like Italian dressing. That's some good stuff.
It's coconut oil. It's edible.
Oh, but, you should have told people that, boy. You can.
Yes, it has rosemary in there, peppermint oil, things to help promote the hair growth as well. So, yep, shop my products. Yes, yes, yes.
Well, Ebony Williams, all right, tell people how to get in touch with you and, of course, how to get your products and how they can reach you on social media everywhere.
Yes, call me. I don't mind getting on the phone with you guys. I know these new hairstylists don't want you having a number. They want you to text them or email them.
Call me.
DM them. You can DM me. DM me at Unique Strands. That's EUNIQUESTRANDS. That's uniquestrands@gmail.com for my email. My IG is Unique Strands. Facebook, Unique Strands. If you want to shop my products, you can go to Unique Strands Hair Products not at Unique Strands Hair Products myshopify.com. If you
also they give us your number. You said you can call you.
Oh, the number, I'm sorry, is 323-363-5699. Yes, call me anytime. Well, during business hours. Please don't call me after that. But you can
California
always call
business hours.
I don't mind the phone calls if you have any questions about the products. If you have some questions about your hair, I will limit the conversation till about 5 minutes. Anything past 10 minutes, if you haven't decided by then if you want to book a consultation with me or I'm the person for you, I probably, we'll start kind of rushing it up. We can talk all you want once you book an appointment and sit in my chair, but just be respectable of my time. A lot of people sometimes call like they want a buddy or some kind of friendship, and I'm just like, look, we've been on the phone 15, 20 minutes. I can't do that, but feel free to call or text me anytime with any questions or concerns you may be having with your hair or my products or service.
Ebony Williams, Unique Strands. Thank you. You gave a lot of key, like I said, and I've been in this industry for a long time. You gave a lot of great information that a lot of people, this is going to be something that people can share with friends and stuff like that. So you gave a lot of key information. And don't forget, if y'all call in for consultation, it costs past 5 minutes. 5 minutes free. Past that, it'd be like $9.76 back in the day.
Right. Then you gotta go book an appointment. Anything right. After that.
Right.
And you can book an appointment on my social media, Instagram. The link will be in the bio if you would like to book a hair appointment, or you can call me and I'll send you the link directly. I'll text it to you. So either way, I'm reachable.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Ebony. We will talk to you in a bit.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you, Troy, and happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Shh.
Oh, my bad.
No. I'll talk to you in a bit.